Yo, what up? It's your boy Owen JJ Stone, aka O Doctor. Welcome to another episode of IQMZ Tech. Took a week off because sick as a dog is going around. If you're watching this, you're probably going to get strep throat. I apologize. um, Ryan, PC Gazer.
Yes, PC Gazer.
PC Gazer. I got to make sure I always say it right now because I make jokes all the time. But Ryan, how you doing? Did you get the sniffles too? Everybody was getting the sniffles
I
last
think I think everyone got the sniffles, and I think we all caught it on the internet. I'm not. I guess that's what the viruses are like these
It,
days.
it might have been because it was just really funny. Because normally it happens locally, like you have a kid and you know how it is. Like we talked about before, like the kid goes to school, everybody ends up getting sick, then the parents all get sick, and then if you're lucky, it stops in that cycle. But sometimes the cycle kicks back up again. So yeah, I'm feeling much better today. How you doing? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. We got some exciting news to get into today.
All right,
I'm looking forward to it.
what's the first thing on deck we got today?
Sure. Let's go ahead and kick this off with a story out of Punchbowl News. Man, I love that publication's name. The Biden White House supports a bipartisan bill aiming at potentially banning TikTok in the United States,
Again,
requiring ByteDance.
sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry.
No, what's up?
No, it's is this are you sure this is a good story? Did you check what's the date say on this article?
The date on this article is March 6th, 2024. That's today.
Oh, it's Groundhog's Day because we're doing it again. All right, continue. I apologize. Sorry. It sounded like something I heard like a year and a half ago, but I guess we're doing it again. I apologize. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
This did happen during the Trump administration as well, but they're they're apparently going to require ByteDance to sell the app if it wants to remain in the U.S. This initiative, marked for a House Energy and Commerce Committee review, is backed by officials from the FBI, Justice Department, Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and all kinds of bipartisan support from both sides of the aisle. Man, it seems like the government is after TikTok. They do not like that brand at all. What do you think?
Again, my favorite part about this is, see, the Trump administration's trying to take away TikTok because they don't want us communicating and understanding what we need to do to uprise the civil unrest and take back our country. They're trying to take it away from us. Oh, wait, Biden's the president. It seems like they're trying to keep us from communicating with each other and talk about ways to fight kids capitalism. And like, oh my God, it's literally the same talking points, the same dumb, stupid, ignorant stuff going on. Like, I know TikTok is an American company. I know that they want a piece of the pie. I know that the NSA is mad because they're not getting all this data. I know that's what it is. That's what it's all about. The government's mad because they can't infiltrate and get data and information. And the one thing that I learned from Elon taking over Twitter is that the government had its claws deep in Twitter. The government was getting all kinds of backdoor information from Twitter. And I assume it happens with Facebook. I assume it happens with everything else. And they're mad because everybody's on TikTok. TikTok is the place to be. And so they've got to do something where, hey, you got to get this company out of here because we can't bully them into giving us the information that we want. And so here again with Groundhog's Day, and the same thing happening over and over again. And I can't stand it. And it's ridiculous. And America. But they want the data. They want it so bad. And that's what this is. Threatening, trying to change, trying to take control, and they're mad that they can't because it's not an American company.
I'm mad at TikTok, right? I don't like TikTok at all. And it has nothing to do with security or privacy or China or Singapore or whatever country is trying to get our data. My problem is that when I'm laying down trying to go to sleep, my wife is up watching TikTok all night long and laughing her head off because every one of the videos that she gets sent is funny and hilarious, or telling her that the men are horrible and all that. And every time I log into the app, I'm getting nothing but thirst traps, and I can't watch that in front of my wife.
No, that's your algorithm. That's your fault. You clicked on too many. You clicked on too many SpongeBob and bikinis, and now you got Squidwards everywhere. So that's a personal problem because TikTok, more than anything else, shows you exactly what you want, like exactly what you're into. especially if you just remember to get off the For You page and get back to your who you're following page. That's the other problem too. When you get caught in the matrix, it'll put you in a ground. What's the thing called? The tunnel, the thing when you're in the tunnel. Anyway, it puts you in the fucking matrix where you're stuck going around and around and around. Instagram, on the other hand, I'm sitting there watching puppies, and next thing I know, I got a murder site on my video,
yeah.
and I'm like, they throw the most random vile things in the middle of your feed. Like, who wants this? I don't want this. Like, I watched a thing the other day where basically I literally watched a girl walking on the beach in a bikini. I swiped it, and I got a guy being chased in a third world country on a motorcycle getting shot in the middle of the street. And I'm like, whose algorithm is this? I don't want this. This is not. And the worst part was I'm looking at, I'm like, this isn't even a movie. This is like security footage posted. And I'm like, what? Why do I get that? And that happens a lot with Instagram. TikTok, if you're out there thirst trapping, sir, that sounds like a personal problem.
But I can't help it. All right. I really like those cosplay transition that I don't know. It
They're
just it
cool.
gets me every time.
Cosplay is cool.
I'm
Cosplay
a
is
simple
cool.
I'm a simple man. I'm a
Yeah,
simple
yeah.
animal, you know.
But you need TikTok to just do what it's doing. But that's all they want. They just want the information. They want the data, and any way they can get it by threatening them. I don't know. I know nothing came of it before. Everyone is super worried about it. They were trying to blame Trump for it and all that kind of stuff. But it seems to be rearing its head again. And TikTok corrupting the youth.
Yeah.
Next.
You know what else is corrupting the youth? AI. According to Elon Musk, in a lawsuit filed against OpenAI, he's accusing it of violating its foundational agreement to develop artificial intelligence technology for the public good and not for profit. Musk alleges OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft has led to the company becoming a closed source entity focused on profit maximization. How dare they as a company? Particularly with the development of GPT-4, which Musk claims has been kept proprietary for commercial reasons. Now, in response to this, and I've got another article we can talk about at the same time, OpenAI has released some receipts, which it says that Elon Musk was totally cool with this and knew about it from day one, as long as he was in charge and there was potential to merge OpenAI with Tesla. So there's a little back and forth there between the billionaires. What do you think about this one?
So he can't have OpenAI merge with Tesla anymore, and he's upset, or
That seems like it.
because again, this is another thing of just needing information. You need the data. That's all the currency we have anymore. Oh, we have OnlyFans and we have people's data. Those are the only two things making money in America. And so I fully understand what he's saying about OpenAI and it not being open and ChatGPT 4 and having to pay for it. You pay for ChatGPT, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like $20 a month or whatever it is. And some people paying for it, most people don't. But now Microsoft offers a Copilot, which we should actually do a little show on one day just to get some people into regular AI usage and stuff like that, just to get their toes wet so they can go play with some things. I know a lot of people hear about AI and they hear about all the tools and stuff like that, but they don't know where to get started, what to do, how it works, if it works. But anyway, back to the point. He has a point. And I know he has a point for his own personal gain, his own personal reason. I know people hate Elon. I don't like him that much either, but he does have a point. When you made your little jab comment about, oh, heaven forbid the company tries to make money. Well, it's open AI source. It's just like Android and Samsung, and there's supposed to be open source stuff that's just out there in the world, and you making it closed off to you and being the proprietary outlet and source for it is a problem, because you're also going to stagnate creativity and creation and imagination because you have everything funneled through you. So I get his point. I understand his point, and I understand their point too. Like, oh, he's just mad because he can't run the ship. But at the same time, there should be something that's still open to the public that they could use and that he personally could exploit if he wanted to, or that you or I could personally exploit if we wanted to. Right?
I get it. I get it. I'm angry at Elon Musk because I live in Austin and he moved Tesla down here and all of his other companies down here. And it seems like this guy, I looked up to him. I wanted him to be the next Tony Stark. Like
All
I
you
thought, man, this is
nerds,
the space guy.
nerds.
He's doing electric cars. He's got a solar company. He's going to save the world. And then he just kind of evolved or devolved into like king troll of Twitter. I can't stand the guy now. I'm sorry. I just
The
can't.
problem is, I never could stand the guy. He is a white South African dude whose family makes their money from blood gems or whatever the frick they were mining out there getting money from. Like, he made PayPal. He knows banking. His thing is about making money. He's a capitalist to the core. He is not the savior of the universe. Him saying we're going to Mars when I said from the day one, we're never going to Mars. We're still not in Mars, not halfway close to Mars. Who even talks about Mars anymore? This dude's out here complaining about OpenAI and suing them. I should sue him because I'm not in Mars right now. So you being upset with Elon and everybody who is upset with Elon because of Twitter, my God, use the tools. Use the tools. I don't understand why people are just like, I'm not using Twitter X anymore because Elon. It's like, okay, so are you not eating ramen noodles anymore? Because I could tell you some bad things that companies have done to make ramen noodles. The red dye number 5, are you not eating velvet cake anymore? Because heaven forbid they put crushed bugs in your, like, there are so, everything in this world, especially in America, is trying to kill you, poison you, or destroy you. I'm talking to this thing right now. There's probably particulates coming into my mouth and I'm going to get cancer in 7 years from talking on a microphone every day. It's America. Being mad at Elon and not using a product, or being mad at a product because of one person who is always an evil demigod, doesn't make any sense to me. He makes cars and he's annoying. I get it. But at the same time, the point is, we're talking about this AI. Shouldn't it be open? Shouldn't your chat GBT 4 be free?
Yes, I do believe it should be open source. I do agree with you on that. I just, I think the fact that it delivered on a promise is so rare for a company to do these days. There's a lot of vaporware out there. OpenAI actually delivered on what it said it was going to deliver on, and I don't want to cut that company out when we finally have one that's doing what it says it's going to do.
Yes.
Now, it's always been, I know it says OpenAI in the name, but what company doesn't seek making a profit if it's not a nonprofit company?
Then this is the problem when you have your mission statement and it's Google and you say, do no evil. All you do is evil. It becomes very clear how you have to state your mission statement and back that up. Of course, nothing's free. It costs so much money just to run these servers and have all these things going, and everybody else is making money off of them. All the apps and stuff that we talk about, and everybody's they're running off of ChatGPT. They're just doing the prompts for you because people don't know how to use prompts. So I understand. We're both right. They're both right. Hopefully suing them brings some kind of balance to the force, because I get that it needs to be open, but at the same time, it needs to be making money, because without it making money, it goes away, or it gets bought up by a privatization person like Elon, and then everybody's upset. So, America.
I totally agree. Speaking of balance to the force, unfortunately, Tesla is going to keep its crown for at least a little bit longer, because Apple's big dream to beat Tesla and shake up the car world backfired. Showing they might have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. They went all in on creating a cutting edge self-driving car instead of something a bit more realistic, like, I don't know, a regular electric vehicle. Even with all the success in tech, taking the car industry's complexities and aiming for full automation, it just didn't pan out for Apple. So they're giving up making the electric car. I think Apple should have stuck to what it's good at, and that's making aluminum rectangles that people drool over. I think that's what Apple does best. It's been doing it for 20 years. It should just keep doing that and stop trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. But so, I don't know.
You have an electric car, right?
I do.
Do you have one or two?
I have one.
You have one. So
I have a Kia EV6, and I love that car.
EV6. So here's the thing. One, they should have either made 10,000 cars and just sold them like they sell the Vision Pro and just had them be beta tests. But you have the liability concern. What they really should have done is went and partnered with Kia and made an Apple Kia or made an Apple Honda and not worried so much about the autonomous driving and just because you have a Kia, I'm sure you have like the adaptive cruise control,
Yes.
lane control, lane assist, all that stuff.
All
That
that.
is
Love it.
good enough for most people. I hate the fact that people in Teslas fall asleep while their car's driving them somewhere and they snooze and pollute. Apple could have easily just partnered with one of these companies, made one of those cars, and just made it fully decked out and sexy and Apple type screens and fully integrated with Siri, which is the worst system to use. But they could have done something that was unique and impressive with all kinds of blankety lights and customizations and rolled that car out as like a limited edition, something just to have produced. And instead, they went and tried to do something top to bottom. That's not what they do. And somebody wanted a transforming car that turned into a spaceship and took them to outer space. And it was something that was never achievable or never real. And now they're here where they are. And it's just a bad look because one, electric cars are going through a really huge problem right now anyway, globally and locally. The global and local initiative for everything being electric is now being pushed down or pushed back. And for the Trumpies, yeah, you feel really good about that because he did not care about that at all. And Biden comes in and by 2030, we're gonna cars out here getting stranded in the middle of the country in wintertime. People's mileage is going through the floor with a little bit of wind outside. We're not ready for electric cars. We're also destroying the planet to make these batteries because the batteries do fail at some point. So it's just all bad for them. They're lucky that it died out in their dev phase as opposed to putting something out there on the street. But they really should have partnered with one of these companies and got something done and put out there a long time ago if they were going to do something.
Yeah, and it's not like Apple hasn't partnered with other companies before. There was an HP iPod, if you remember.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like it would be the first time. You have a
Yeah.
good point there.
And they could have done something like what we said because we're talking about Kia, so I said some mid-level. They could have went with like that. It's an ugly car, but BMW has an i8 and it's got two 17-inch screens that fold down from the ceiling, a back massaging chair that folds out, the front chair turns around and turns to a full bed. Like it's got so much technology in it. That was when they tried to announce that they were going to be doing subscription based for air conditioned seats and things like that, and everybody lost their mind. It was going to be a pilot program for a car that cost $200,000 and had all these other technical features in it, but it was going to be trickled down. So it kind of got shut down. But Apple could have partnered with something like that and gave them some really cool tech. And they didn't. So they missed the boat.
I don't know. But hey, BMW, if you want to sponsor us and send us that prototype.
I might have to do the show from the car, just roll around the country. That might be something, BMW. What else?
All right, rolling on to the next story. We've got your favorite subject, and that's government surveillance. The FBI's new tactic for finding suspects is using push alerts. And let's see here. The FBI has utilized a novel investigative technique leveraging push notification tokens to identify suspects, including an individual charged with child exploitation. See, there's a noble example. By collaborating with foreign law enforcement and tech companies like Google, this approach has sparked privacy concerns, with advocates warning about potential broader surveillance applications, including investigations into sensitive matters like abortion. Now, I, for one, know many females that deleted their cycle trackers and all those other apps that would track their health and give them, a heads up. Hey, you're about to, have a bad week or something like that, and they all did it because they were afraid the government's going to come after them if they suspect that they had an abortion. I don't. It seems pretty serious to me. Like I don't want the FBI snooping in on my phone. I don't know about you.
The FBI is already snooping on your phone. I should put a link to a Faraday cage bag from Amazon in the description. You might want to invest in one of those. I'm actually thinking about buying because I have a large Faraday bag for part of my bug out bag situation. But I think I might get one and just start putting my phone in it at nighttime and see if I sleep a little bit better. Because I now that I have the newer iPhones, I notice more how much my phone is watching me. With the always on display, like I move an inch in my room across the room and the phone turns on. Like it just knows that it saw a head somewhere. You know what I mean? It's hunting for my face.
Yeah.
And it's just always beaming out. And I'm like, so you're just laying there at night and you got this thing beaming to you 24/7. I'm like, maybe I should just buy a smaller Faraday bag and just throw my phone in there in the middle of the night. Like at least with my kids with me. So, that's the only person I have to worry about saving if something goes wrong in the world. But uh the phones are always putting out information. So the government's always trying to get stuff. The tracking for the cycles and stuff like that. That's a killer for like the Apple Watch. Like I use this Aura Ring and it does that. It tells me, like, it lets me know when I'm getting sick. Like my temperature rises and it gives me a alert like, oh, how you feeling? So all those things going out like that, and for the government to have access to it is scary because as you say, it's for like Amber Alerts, missing children, finding you on the side of a cliff if you fell off a rock and you're just stuck in a ravine. Yeah, all those things are great, but that's not usually how things work out. There's always a guy working at the NSA or the FBI and they broke up with somebody and they're mad at their new boyfriend and they want to find out something. So they're snooping on their phone. There's just too much unfettered access and using push notifications and malware to get into your phone. There are already so many things going through your phone that is just unacceptable. And I don't care what the reasoning is. And couching it with trying to save children or women or puppies is not going to make me feel okay about it. It's just not. So I think we should get some Faraday cages for our phones. What do you think?
Yeah. I think so. I think so for sure. But if in this case they were going after a fugitive, somebody that was wanted for something horrendous, but if you are running from the law, it's like Fugitive 101, you ditch the phone. Every action movie for the last 30 years has said, as soon as you're on the run, you throw the phone out of the car window.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's the Patriot Act all over again. It's for your safety. It is because of danger, and we're only going to do it in case of an emergency. Like, okay, again, if I'm a criminal, I know how to commit crime. I'm not going to do it on my phone or have my phone with me, or I'm going to have a burner phone, or I'm going to have a Faraday bag and put my phone in there. If I'm even going to go that deep into it, but you're trying to catch criminals. How many criminals are you really catching? Like most criminals get caught after they get done doing what they're doing because they're dumb. So I don't care what they say. I don't care what the reasoning is. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I'm mad at my phone right now for looking at me. I
Yeah,
can't trust
there
it.
was a television show my wife and I watched. I think it was only on for one season, but it was a contest, and you had 30 days to avoid being caught by these ex FBI agents that had access to like the cameras at the traffic intersections and everything. And out of an entire season, like 30 contestants, only one person actually eluded the uh, the the hunters for a whole month because they would all do something stupid, like go to their best friend's house, go to their mom's house. They always gave themselves up, and I just think that no matter what, people as a whole are kind of dumb when it comes to avoiding being surveilled because everything is surveilling you these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'd make it in that show. Like I don't know what the criteria is for that, but for me, for 30 days, for me to evade someone for 30 days, I need $300 and my camping bag, my camping bug out bag, and you won't find me for 31 days. Yeah, I can disappear. All I need is like uh 15 gallons of water, 25 cans of food, and I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out. I'll just go lay under a bush every day because it is hard to disappear. There's other ways to disappear, but I mean, like just in the common man thought process of disappearing, um, it's just so hard, especially now with like everybody's got Ring doorbell cams and all that kind of stuff. Like when I remember one time when I was calling my phone company, and the woman was like, "Oh, well, do you want to wait till you get home?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, it seems like you're driving somewhere. It seems like you're moving like 50, 60 miles an hour." And I'm like, "What?" and I was in the passenger seat, but I was on the highway. And I'm like, what screen are you looking at that you know how fast I'm going? Because the phone has an accelerometer and it has, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing now where they use it where, oh, if you're driving, you can save money on your car insurance. Because if you don't touch your phone while you're driving, we'll give you discounts. Like, dude, there's so much information coming in and out of that phone. But yeah, if you figure out what show that was, or anybody knows what show that is, put it in the notes. I might want to go watch it. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I know how to bug out and disappear. I know how to kill somebody and get away with it. Like I got all the good things down, just in case, because you never know.
Yeah, it's always good to have a bug out bag.
Yeah. We gotta have a whole episode about that just in case. Because you know, Twitter went down, Facebook went down, Instagram went down the other day. What we're gonna do?
Yeah,
You were working, weren't you? You didn't even notice it went down.
I didn't. I didn't.
See, you're a good human being. I was raging at the machine. I tried to log into something and I used Facebook to authenticate myself for. And I was so mad because I'm like, it kept kicking me out. I'm like, why is this not working? And then I finally realized like, oh, Facebook must be down. Go ahead with the next story.
All right, the next story is actually it's a fun one. Lenovo has unveiled a transparent laptop screen
Ooh.
that looks just like something straight out of sci-fi, and this is exactly what we didn't need, but it looks neat. It looks interesting, and I don't know. I don't know if I would want one because it's hard enough to see a laptop screen already. And imagine if it was transparent and there was something busy going on behind it. I don't know if I would like this.
So leave this up here. Don't put me back full screen. I just want to look
All
at it.
right.
It's one of those things where one, like they make the TVs like this now where it just sits in the middle, and if you're laying in bed, it's cool, right? Like you have it on a dresser or something, and it'll disappear into the room when you're not using it, and it'll just appear. There's no purpose for this in a laptop at all, unless I'm trying to make a sci-fi movie and pretend that I'm in 2040 and I want something cool to use. Because it's not going to give me the depth, it's not going to give me the detail. It is cool technology, it does push things forward, but I mean, why? I look at this and I think, why? Like, what is this doing for me? I don't get it. I don't want it, and the price isn't going to be good. And I just think about breakage. I must be old because I care about things breaking now. I care about durability and not so much as the looks of being cool. I care more about the functionality. Now,
I was I was
if this was
I was
smaller, like a cell phone, would you like that?
if it was a cell phone, maybe it'd be kind of neat to have, but I don't know how, like, if I'm watching like a movie on my phone or a flight or something, it would distract me and I would end up not liking it so much. But what you made is a good point when you talked about durability. I have a 6-year-old. And if I'm thinking about getting my 6-year-old a laptop, the first thing I've got to do is worry about what's going to happen if he spills his water on it. What's going to happen if he gets Cheetos in the keys
Well,
and
this
all the things
looks
that
like it'll
kids
be good
do?
for that. This looks like the keyboard is all touch surface too, so you can have Cheetos on this. You're not gonna get crumbs in this keyboard. I mean, you can wipe it off. So this might be perfect for a kid that you wouldn't give a $4,000 laptop to anyway, or $8,000. I don't know how much this thing costs.
Yeah, let
Uh,
me see how much this thing costs. I think it's just a concept right now.
yeah, it's not available, but I mean, like I said, I see the TVs are like this, and I think the TV thing is really cool. Because okay, so leave that picture up there. So again, like if you've got it just on your desktop and it's dark and you can turn the lights off, that it has looked really cool when I look at it. That looks like an acrylic fish tank or something. Like
It does.
what the color isn't stark, the color is pale. It's just a novelty thing. If I just use it as a calendar or something to update my information, really cool. It's just not great.
It looks like a laptop out of Black Mirror.
Yeah,
Like this would be in a Black Mirror episode, and it would look like a standard prop.
it looks like a CGI thing. It looks like somebody puts up the little portable screens that pop up. And again, if it was in a cell phone and I was using my cell phone as a minimalist cell phone, it would be great. It would be cool. But this just, oh great, you're lighting up a frame. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't like it. We could do better, right? I think we could do
Yeah,
better.
I agree. Speaking of doing better, we do have our last story of the day. Apple has released iOS and iPad OS 17.4 with a major Safari and App Store changes only in the EU, transcripts for podcasts, new emoji, and more. So, if you live in the European Union, this is a really, really good update for you. Basically, it gives you the ability to have a different browser engine running in the background. It lets you have a different app store. It lets you have all the things that people have been asking Apple to do since 2007 when the iPhone first came out. And because Apple got forced to by the courts in Europe, they're relenting and doing this for its customers there, which proves that it can be done, but Apple didn't want to do it until now.
What did I tell you earlier when I was making my conspiracy theories and conversation about companies and tech in America and people getting away with what they want to? They
I
give
hate it when
America
you're
what
right.
they get America what they want, and America here doesn't bother them to do the things they need to do. The only reason the new iPhone has a USB-C on it, finally, when it's universal, it's faster, it's better, it's stronger, it's everything that we ever wanted to be. It's only like that because of the EU, and they're just not going to make different phones. So they finally converted, but that was from pressure from the EU demanding it because of e-waste and monopoly on power cords and charging, all the things that they did. And now they've made all these adjustments and we don't get the benefit of them. And we're not the beneficiary of a lot of those things. So it's super annoying. It's very frustrating. And it's completely embarrassing for Apple to do this because, as we always know, they could do anything they want to do. They just wait 4 years and then call it magic and say, "Oh well, Samsung did it, but we're doing it magically now," and it's just weird. And these updates are starting to get really, really bad in general. If you're an iPhone user here in America, just know that you can't cheat, snitch, or lie anymore with an iPhone because the tracking, the information about who you're tracking, what's being tracked, and who you are, where you are, what's going on. There's a lot of things you got to go into your settings and turn off to make sure that you're not embarrassing yourself with your significant other, and make sure that your kids aren't hiding from you too, because there are so many little things hidden in the regular updates that we've been getting lately about privacy, about text messages being read, deleting text messages, ignoring them and saying you didn't. They see how they see when you see it, what time. Like there's so many things that are going on with these new updates, but it's what Apple does and it's what Apple do, and we just got to deal with it unless we're going to move to the EU. We going across the broad? You want to go across the pond?
I want to go across the pond for many reasons. I actually just switched from iPhone to a Pixel, partially because of the lockdown app store. Like, there's a few apps that I use. Like, for example, I use NVIDIA's GeForce Now
Mm,
and others. And it's like, if you're not buying it through, if you're not doing an in-app purchase, then you can't enjoy this feature of this app that you're paying for on every other platform.
yeah,
And yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to get a Pixel. And as soon sure as can be, I switched to the Pixel, and that day I'm getting text messages from everyone I know saying, why is my bubble green? Why isn't it blue anymore?
yeah,
Who messed up our chain? You know,
yeah.
Apple,
It's
do better.
that's what Apple did. They put that crack cocaine in the water. I'm stuck with Apple at least until my kid graduates high school, just because again, the whole tracking and knowing where everybody is and all that kind of stuff. It's funny. My daughter made like a TikTok and she said, the difference between my mom and my dad. My dad has my location all the time and never checks it. I just tell him where I'm going and what I'm doing. He just never checks it. I tell my mom what I'm doing, where I'm at, and what's going on. And in a half hour, she's like, "Why are you in the middle of the woods?" Like she's always just checking her location because, Dad's. You tell me you're doing X, I trust you. Go do X. I don't need to check it unless you're missing. Her mom, I'm going to go do X. Moms just be checking just to check randomly, just to ask questions. And I'm like, kids are kids. Sometimes they ride their bike and they hang out in the woods. They don't have anywhere to go. They can't go to a bar or a club or anything. So they go sit amongst trees and hang out because that's what kids do. But yeah, as soon as she gets out of high school, I might be able to go back to having a Pixel or a Samsung as my main phone. But right now, I'm stuck on this Apple crack cocaine and these blue bubbles.
The one thing I like about the Pixel is its camera photos
Oh, yes.
capabilities. I do like being able to edit out ugly people. There's an
Yeah.
ugly person in my photo. I can just circle it. It's usually me. I'm editing out of
I
my
was
own
gonna say, are
photos.
you not putting yourself in photos anymore? Are you becoming a vampire of the night? You're just not gonna
That's
be in
right.
any of the photos?
I'll be
It's
like,
like
look, we took that photo together. Where am I?
where's your dad? He hasn't been in any of my photos since 2023. I don't know what happened to my dad. Oh, that's terrible. But yeah, it's vastly superior when it comes to the camera. Not so much video, but for the camera itself, it's so much more superior. And I do miss a pixel every once in a while, just for that and their own AI and the things that they have running. The Google Assistant is amazing. Um, yeah, I'm not going to talk myself into it, but there are a lot of things that I miss about having a Pixel phone.
Well, that about does it for today.
It was a good short
So
day today because I'm still lagging and trying to get myself together. And next week we'll be back. I'll have like extra stories, more punchy, more amazingness. We're gonna have Jason Howe here. We're gonna have actually somebody else who's smart like you here, and not just me and you.
who are you
Uh,
talking to?
you,
Me. Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. You're essentially the smart one here.
You told me once that I am the dumbest smart person you know.
Yeah, that's what I tell most of the people I know.
I
I
know.
know I know a lot of smart dumb people. I like to surround myself with people that are. I tell my daughter all the time, you want to date somebody that's better than you, and that doesn't mean go be a gold digger and find somebody that's richer than you. Find someone that's better than you. Somebody that's smarter than you in certain things. Like there's a reason you read the articles out loud and I don't, because I'll be stumbling, bumbling, rumbling, and every once in a while I can't pronounce things. Okay, I'm not a strong reader. I'm,
Hey, I'm dyslexic, so that should
yeah,
really
right.
this really speaks volumes about
Right?
you.
We're just trying to get by. But always try to find somebody that's better than you at something. You know what I mean? Her mother was a nicer person to me. I'm not a nice person. People think I'm a nice person. I'm not a nice person, but her mom is just a nice person. And that's an upgrade. That's something I needed that worked and meshed well with me. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah.
your wife is, nicer, smarter, prettier. It's like she's got all the things above you, but you just lucked out. That's
Yeah,
what
I, I
yeah.
I still don't know what she sees in me. Maybe it's just because I edit myself out of photos.
I mean that too, and sometimes queens fall in love with peasants. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just
Oh,
nice to hey,
that
somebody
one
somebody had to love
hurts.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know what I mean? He's out there ringing the bell. He's doing the best he can. Like you just keep on. I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to be
You know
weird.
what? I'm glad that she did not make me go see Madam Web. All right, so
Oh yeah. My goodness, you should actually go see that movie. Not no, that's a lie. Don't waste any money going to see it. When it comes out on VHS, rent it from Blockbuster and throw it on the TV and watch it and let me know what you think about it.
I'll
Um,
totally do that.
every Wednesday at 10 or 9, mostly 10 EST, we'll be doing the show. Like I said, next week, Jason Howe will be here, and we're going to try and get some guests following up him and get ourselves back on the road. My voice is going out. I've given it the best that I can. So we are out. Appreciate you. You can follow us on the Twitters and the internet and the X and whatever. And we'll see you next week.